Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're looking at what happens after software is launched. It's a critical phase that's, well, often misunderstood: software maintenance. Right. I think for a lot of us, we kind of assume that once an app is built and out in the world, the job is done. But it seems there's a much bigger story here.
Exactly. And that very assumption leads to some pretty shocking outcomes. So, okay, let's dive into this idea of the launch day myth.
Now, I know what you're thinking. This is an old statistic. But what's really interesting here is that it highlights a fundamental misunderstanding of the software process that is still so relevant today. 42%? Wow. That's huge. It's like almost half the projects just stopped. Why would that happen?
That is the core question, isn't it? It's because the primary goal isn't just to build a system. The real goal is to create long-term value for the organization. And that value? It's either created or completely lost after launch day.
You know, the source material makes this really interesting comparison to building a house. You get the blueprints, you build it, and you're done, right? Right. But a much better way to think about it is that launching the software is like getting the keys to your new house. The real journey of ownership, the upkeep, the renovations, adapting it as your life changes, that's all just beginning. That's maintenance.
Okay, so when we say maintenance, are we just talking about fixing things when they break? Like a leaky faucet in that new house. That is such a common misconception. It is so much more than that. Let's take a look at the actual definition.
So the crucial thing to see here is that maintenance isn't just one single activity. It's really a collection of them, and they're all designed to make sure the software keeps meeting its goals long after day one.
Okay, this breaks it down perfectly. So corrective maintenance, that's the bug fixing I was thinking of. But look at the others. They're all proactive. Adaptive is for when the world changes around the software, and perfective is actively making it better based on what users actually need. Precisely. And preventive, that one's the key to long-term health. It's all about making sure it runs efficiently for years to come. See, it's really about evolution, not just repair.
So where does all this fit in the grand scheme of things? I mean, we always hear about the big phases like planning and design. Well, it's actually the final and often the longest phase in the entire software development lifecycle, or SDLC. Let's check out how this all builds.
And this illustrates the point brilliantly. The first 4 phases are all about creating the system, but that maintenance phase, that's where the system lives, breathes, and actually delivers value over time. It is absolutely not a final step, it's an ongoing cycle.
Okay, but evolving a system sounds incredibly complex, especially when you've got a whole team of developers working on it. How do you possibly keep it from turning into total chaos? You're right, you need a structured approach, and you definitely need the right tools. The key process here is called configuration management. Think of this as the official rulebook. It's what makes sure that everyone can access the project code, they can see exactly what changes have been made, and, most importantly, they can build the system without breaking it. And it has 2 really critical parts.
I see. So version management is like tracking the history of one single piece of the puzzle, and system integration is making sure you put all the right pieces together to build the final product. Exactly, you've got it. Without that level of control, maintenance would be completely impossible on any system that has any real complexity.
And all of this brings us right back to the ultimate goal of all this effort. This isn't just about keeping code clean for the sake of it, it's all about business. Right, the sources were clear the primary goal is to create real value for the organization.
And that value, ultimately, is measured in return on investment. Good maintenance ensures the initial investment continues to pay off by keeping the software relevant, secure, and perfectly aligned with business needs. It's the difference between an asset that appreciates and one that just gets abandoned.
So the next time you see a new app launch, just remember that the real work, the work of creating lasting value, is only just getting started. The crucial point isn't whether it was built to succeed on day 1, but for all the days that follow. That's a powerful way to rethink the entire process. Thanks for watching this explainer.